Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Soldier, and welcome to this week's Playdate. This week, we are reading The Cause by Cuinn Joseph, Connor Joseph, Jacob Hurd, which won the 2019 Harry Rintoul Award at the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. Please stay tuned after the reading for a Q&A with the playwrights. Please submit any questions you might have for the playwrights in the comments below, and they might have a chance to answer. Let's meet our reader.
Evan, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm Evan. I will be playing Vlad tonight.
Hi, my name is Jean, and I'm reading the part of Jobin.
I'm Ben, and I will be reading Heinrich Schwerner.
Hi, my name is Kara, and I'm reading for Eleanor.
Hi, my name is Ian, and I'm reading Frankie Piccoloni.
And hi, I'm Minik, and I'll be reading stage directions as well as some other parts.
Thanks for joining us, and this is The Cause.
Eleanor stands alone on stage in HQ. There is a single light illuminating her by a desk.
Good evening. My name is Eleanor Simmons, Special Agent 0541. But to you, I am the most important person in this room. Tonight, your lives will be in the palm of my hand. Now, surely you've all gathered here to revel in the ambassador and his accomplishments, but while you drink and prattle on about your petty drivel, there is an underground organization plotting your demise. As we speak, a bomb is being built that will be planted in this embassy tonight. The assassination of the ambassador is imminent, and you are all collateral damage. How do I know this? I am the organization's second in command. You see, I was given the task of infiltrating the cause and dismantling it from within. I have made it into the heart of this operation using my proclivity for espionage, decisiveness, and exceptional instincts.
The radio sitting on the desk starts making noise and startles Eleanor.
That must be Alpha Team.
Alpha to HQ. Come in, HQ.
HQ to Alpha, what's the status on Operation Delta?
Operation Delta is complete. We will be returning shortly.
Well done, HQ out. HQ to Group 2, what's your status?
In position for the pickup. We are approaching the target location. Where is everyone? We are under fire. I repeat, we are under heavy fire. Requesting backup.
Repeat, Group 2, you're breaking up.
But we're totally pinned down. We require immediate extraction. HQ, do you copy? HQ, do you copy?
That takes care of the first two. With Goodman out of the way, the cause will be under my control. You people expect freedom. You treat it like an inalienable right, like you're entitled to it. It's people like me who provide such a luxury. People like me who are willing to do the dirty work so that people like you can sit there with your thumbs up your arses while your minds waste their energy on trivial matters like where to eat for dinner or which of your 1,000 selfies will garner the most validation from your peers. But for every small matter that you consider, there is a fatal decision I have to make. Lucky for you, I'm damn good at it. I have dismantled half a dozen organizations just like this. Do you remember last year's Swiss Civil War? No? You're welcome. Are you familiar with the Norwegian coup d'etat of '05? No again. How about the Great New Zealand Kiwi Famine? The Dutch Oven Offensive? No. Thanks to me, you have not. I was even involved in preventing Waco. Admittedly, I've made some mistakes, but tonight I will act with precision and care to keep you safe, so I implore you not to evacuate. It will only tip off the cause and spoil my efforts. Vlad, how's the bomb coming?
Finest bombs. Blows up, starts fire, the whole kaboom, huh?
Vlad enters wearing a welder's mask and immediately drops the bomb.
Oh, that was a close call.
He picks up the bomb and slams it on the table.
I can move on to final phase when Alpha Team returns with my bomb supplies.
Enter Heinrich and Frankie in tactical vests with weapons attached. They are carrying supplies. Frankie drops off the bag as Heinrich approaches Eleanor.
Speak of the devil.
Vlad, you really put us through the ringer on this one.
Good to see you, Alpha Team. Jim, give me the mission report.
We had a hell of a time finding the stuff.
But the operation ran smoothly?
About as smooth as you would expect. Kept a low profile, stayed clear of the surveillance zones.
No paper trail?
Paid cash only. The girl asked me if I'd like my receipt. I said, save the paper. She said it prints anyway. I said, I still don't want it. She said, I'll throw it out then. I said, don't you have a recycling bin? She said, no, we've been meaning to get one. I said, okay, I guess throw it out then.
So no receipts.
Yeah, no receipts.
Yeah, she crumpled it good.
And everything is accounted for.
Yes, it looks like they got it all. Zip ties, copper wire, duct tape, uranium-235, gunpowder.
And here are all the snacks you wanted.
Another great use of our time and resources. Can you explain to me why his snacks come out of the cause's budget while my food comes from my weekly stipend?
Because they are essential to Vlad's bomb-making process. The snacks give Vlad the strength to build the bomb, and without the bomb, the cause is worthless.
So our organization's resources are spent lining your stomach.
I can't help that I get the munchies when I make the bombs. And don't worry, I'll share.
I'm sure you will. One bag of chips in each hand isn't considered sharing.
Oh, you have problem.
As a matter of fact,
Enough! Grown men have a tendency to act like children and need to be disciplined as such. You two need to separate immediately. Frankie, Jim, good work on the mission. Vlad, get back to work.
Yes, boss.
Eleanor walks over to the radio.
Group 2, what's your status?
Static.
Group 2, come in.
More static. Eleanor puts down the radio, smiling.
Have you heard from Group 2 yet?
No, their operation must be running smoothly. They've been dead silent.
So you haven't had any signs of concern?
If I was worried about the success of this mission, I would have personally gone to take care of them myself.
No distress calls or anything?
Of course not. May a great tragedy befall me if I knowingly sent our own men into danger.
Whoa, you talk like a frickin' Shakespeare, Ellie.
I've had the radio beside me this entire time, so I'd be the first to hear about any issues.
That's a great point, boss. I know my mind is at ease.
Scheisse! How could she have heard nothing? I know my men were in position for the ambush. There's no way Group 2 could have made it out alive. Goodman and Joven should be dead, 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 dead. Oh, Guten Tag. No, don't say Guten Tag, verdammt. I mean, damn it. Scheisse, I mean, shit. I mean, howdy, folks. My name's Jim Smith, and I just... fuck it. Guten Tag. My real name is Heinrich Schwerner. I use the alias Jim Smith because I have a habit of getting a little too worked up from time to time. Apparently, when I start to yell in this accent, people trust me less. Reminds them too much of you-know-who. But I digress. My real assignment is to destroy everything and anything to do with their cause, starting with those two idioten out on the mission. I thought I would return to news that Group 2 had been killed. You see, I sent 12 men to deal with Captain Goodman and that Joven moron. I have worked my way up to third in command here. Well, soon to be second in command. But I know the rules and regulations of their cause better than anyone, even Eleanor. They wish they could outsmart the likes of me, but I'm always one step ahead and ready to strike terror into their hearts. There is no greater sign of respect than the fear of your subordinates, yeah? The simpletons in their cause think that they can plant a bomb and blow you all up. But don't worry. Heinrich Schwerner will keep you safe, because Heinrich Schwerner always gets the job done. Trust me? How about now?
Heinrich walks over to Eleanor.
Any update on Group 2?
No, but I am sure they are fully capable of handling themselves.
I'm just surprised that there's been no update this entire time. It breaks protocol.
You know, you never struck me as someone who's concerned about others. Just this morning, I heard you tell Joven that if he was late, you would reach into his throat and strangle him with his own esophagus.
My concern is with the success of the mission. Some of us are just anxious to get an update.
Is that so?
Frankie was just talking about how he thinks it's a risky mission. Right, Frankie? Frankiesville is like silly putty, or the German equivalent. Stop smiling, Clay. Whenever I want my way, I just say, right, Frankie? And he always agrees.
Well, I don't remember saying that, but it does effectively summarize my opinion of the situation.
I'm sure they are fine. It's important to have confidence. Besides, I don't always hear back from you right away. Isn't that true, Frankie? Frankie sees me as his mentor, so he practically agrees with everything I say. If I'm ever in need of some mindless agreement, Frankie's my go-to.
That's a great point, boss. We ain't always punctual when it comes to radioing.
And they are a competent team.
They are very competent.
Goodman is a good man, but Joven, I could think of a dozen ways he could ruin the operation before he even got out the door.
That Joven can be a screw-up.
Joven? Joven is a total liability, which is why I convinced him to go with Goodman. Joven is a tad eccentric, but Goodman is a good man.
That's true.
He will keep Joven grounded.
Yeah.
And if they're in danger, all they need to do is radio in for assistance.
I gotta go with Ellie on this one.
But maybe I should go check on them, just to make sure everything went according to plan. What do you think, Frankie?
Hey, that's not a half-bad idea there, Jimbo.
That is the opposite of what we need right now. The bomb will be planted tonight, and we can't afford to have anyone leaving and sacrificing the main objective. Wouldn't you agree, Frankie?
That's another point for Ellie, to be sure.
Really? But you just said that my idea was good.
Well, hey guys, two people's ideas can both be good, even if they're in direct conflict with each other's, as long as you don't think about it? Ah, crap, I'm in it now. The name's Frankie Piccoloni. My friends call me Pickles. I'm a hacker for the cause, and I've been at HQ for over a year now, but here's the thing. See, I'm a double agent working to bring this whole operation to a halt. I slipped my way into the cause using my gift for gab, so to speak. I do this strategy, you see, where I just affirm what other guys are saying. So if someone says something like, "We gotta get that information," then I might say something clever like, "Yeah, I think we need to get that information." Or they say, "These blueprints are confusing." I might say, "These blueprints are very confusing." The key is not to rock the boat, even if it's sinking. Eventually, I just get linked with all the half-good ideas. Like, who planned the mission? Well, Ellie took the lead, but Frankie definitely did some photocopying. Who got Vlad the bomb supplies? Well, Jim drove, but Frankie chose the music. Who clogged the toilet? Well, Vlad was in there for well over an hour, but Frankie topped it off. See, I'm the best of the best when it comes to getting into places where I don't belong. I've nodded, corroborated, and substantiated my way into 2 major crime families, not to mention the heart of this whole operation. I should probably mention that you might die tonight. Yeah, there's going to be a pretty big bomb in this embassy, but trust me, Old Pickles has got your back.
This subject is no longer up for discussion.
Hey, you're the boss.
Enter Joven, looking exhausted and beaten.
Joven?
Joven?
The package could not be secured.
Someone help him!
Frankie helps Joven to a seat. Heinrich stares at Joven, dumbfoundedly. In the background, Vlad opens a bag of pretzels, pours them into a bowl, and discreetly sprinkles a strange substance on them.
How in God's name did you make it back? Make it back in such a rough condition, I mean.
We went to the warehouse, like you told us, where nobody could even hear us screaming.
I'm sure I didn't say anything of the sort.
No, you are being the modest. I remember you said, no matter how hard you scream, you will not alert a soul.
Well, that's simply absurd, but continue with the story.
Okay, well, suddenly a bunch of bad men jumped out and started shooting at us. Hugo shouted, "Get down, Jovan!" Oh, we were really outnumbered.
How many were there? About 12?
Maybe 13 or 14 or 13?
Something like that. It was hard to count, but they were so organized and they moved in on us so quickly. There was just too many of them.
I would have guessed that 12 would be too many for you two to handle.
Hugo fought like a man possessed. He kept shouting, "Pick up your gun, Jovan. You're holding it the wrong way, Jovan. Now's not the time to show me your cool new sock puppet, Jovan."
For God's sake.
They were closing in on us and we knew we didn't have much time.
It sounds like you were out of time.
Hugo tried to call for backup, but the radio wasn't working.
Well, it worked perfectly well when I was radioing with Alpha Team.
Probably another one of Joven's mistakes.
One of Joven's many mistakes.
Can you finish this story?
Just when it seemed we were going to go to forever sleep, another small army of men jumped out and started shooting at us too.
What?
What?
They were just as capable as the first army in every way. They were quick, well-trained, and very dangerous. Oh, we thought we were double done for. And suddenly, a crazy miracle happened. The two armies started the attacking of each other.
What?
What?
Yeah, what?
The first army shot and the second army took cover, and the second army shot and the first army took cover, and they were so focused on each other, we were able to escape.
That's unbelievable.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's very unbelievable. And I really don't know what to say.
It's a good thing they didn't realize that they both wanted us dead.
Wait, you said you both escaped. Where's Goodman?
Hugo? Hugo didn't make it.
You just said you guys got away.
We did get away. After we escaped, Hugo said we have to talk, so we grabbed some bagels.
Hugo was a sucker for those bagels.
He was driving and eating and talking lots. He kept saying, I don't know how this happened. I could see he was getting aggravated when all of a sudden he sprung up and said, I've got it.
What was it?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Before he could even speak again, speed bump. Poor Hugo started choking on his bagel. I tried to give him the Heimlich, but...
Yeah, what do you want? I mean, yeah, I actually think it's called the J thrust now. So
I tried giving him the J thrust, but it didn't work because I didn't know how to do it. I managed to steer the car to safety, but it was too late for poor Hugo.
So Goodman is dead.
Yeah, he takes big bites, but has a skinny neck.
Yeah, small esophagus on that guy.
What did you do with the body?
Dispose of it like the others. We're all clear on that one.
This news certainly comes as a shock to us all. Hugo was an important part of this organization. He truly embodied everything the cause stands for.
That is truth. It is very sad to see him go like this. I've seen too many people die bagel-related deaths. Except normally. I caused those deaths. Greetings, comrades. My name is Vlad, and I am double agent. They brought Vlad in to infiltrate and destroy the cause before the cause has chance to destroy you. I am Master Assassin, and my plan is always the same. I take control of this most powerful resource in the world, the food. I poison the snacks, and hungry sheep people eat the snacks. I've done it all. Candy corn, breadsticks, Pringles. This is why they call me Vlad the Inhaler. Because of the snacks, eh? I once got 47 people with one all-you-can-eat buffet. Only 30 actually died, but the rest had the sloping throats, so they wished they were dead. I've got to say I've outdone myself with these pretzels. I mean, really, who would think the poison pretzels, huh? I'll tell you who. Vlad. The best part is that they do all the hard work. They pay for the food and they bring it all to me. Now that's real power. Let's say leaders give their speeches while I sit back and collect my profits. You get back to your galleys, but quick warning. Don't try the buffet. Just jokes. I didn't touch it. Or did I? No, I didn't. Or did I?
Goodman was a good man. He was open, honest, and welcomed criticism. He knew nothing of leadership.
yes, Goodman was a good man. He put the cause and its members before his own life. His compassion made him weak.
Yeah, Goodman was a good man, all right. He always told me that I had such good ideas and I should try to speak up more often. But I say leave the good ideas to the leaders. If there's too many people thinking, nothing gets done.
Goodman was a good man. He would always give away his rations. He was practically communist. He was a bad kind. I once saw him give food to a dirty bum on the streets. Only a stupid horse would give up the fruits of his labor.
Yes, Goodman was a good guy. He was always saying Jovan could do better. He saved my life so many times. Which is why it was difficult to let him choke. The name is Musk. Jovan Musk. I am a super spy who was sent here to protect you from the cows. You are probably wondering about the accent. I know what you're thinking, and yes, I do sound like a young Florm Schmerpa, famous actor from the old country. But there was no more time for dally-dillying. Okay, there was a plot to have you all killed with a bomb. My plan to stop them is as simple as milking a lactating goat. I suddenly weigh down the cows by doing nothing. If I am idle enough, the cows will destroy itself. Now, I'm sure you're all excited to have me on your team, but I must ask you to please not raise alarms, okay? I have a whole bunch of people relying on me back home. I'll have you know, I'm the primary caregiver to a moose, a mouse, a spouse, and a couch. Okay, bye now.
It is with a heavy heart that I assume the role of first in command.
And I, your second.
But we must move forward. We cannot let Goodman's death be in vain. We will hold a brief memorial for Goodman at our noon meeting. Until then, eat, rest up, and refocus yourselves. Tonight is the most important night in our organization's history. For the cause!
The
The
cause.
cause!
We fight to the
fight to
bitter
the bitter-
end.
Fade out. HQ. Joven, Vlad, and Frankie are sitting quietly. Vlad tinkers with the bomb and repositions the pretzels. Frankie types on his computer, and Joven plays with a slinky and a gun.
Did you guys notice Eleanor and Jim Smith acting funky this morning?
Yeah, they were acting a little strange.
Why do you think that is?
They were probably just hungry. In fact, everyone here looks hungry too.
I know, I'm starving.
Would you pals like some of Vlad's killer pretzels, eh?
Vlad offers the bowl of pretzels.
Hey, those look pretty killer. But I'm more of a sweets guy myself.
Did you see the way they just kept staring at me like I was a ghost? Especially Jim Smith.
It's just Jim.
You've been here for months now and you haven't figured that out? Just call him Jim like the rest of us.
Jim like the rest of us? Cool name.
The whole situation smells a bit fishy to Vlad. Like rotten herring and sardines with a side of coleslaw on a white, no, whole wheat bun.
That sounds like my favorite lunch from the old country. Back home, it only cost me 4 Schmerpas. Praise the cows, but it was much better than the stuff they give us here.
Yes, glory to the cause, but our current selection of food is admittedly subpar.
Hey, in cause we trust, but I'd go as far as to say that our current selection of food is quite subpar. But hail the cause.
Hail the cause.
Applause to the cause.
Jeez, all this cause talk is making me nauseous. You know what I really think? The cause is just a bunch of folks who sit around trying to corrupt people's minds with their way of thinking. It's a bunch of bullshit if you ask me. The world's a wreck as it is. The last thing we need is more people thinking. That's how you end up with assholes like that Jim Smith.
The cause, it makes me sick to think about. The cause just wants to reach into your pockets and give away handouts to everyone. They want to eat your food, trash your houses, raid your bank accounts, and drive your cars. I'll give them a handout, all right. They can have all the pretzels they can eat.
What's so bad about the cows, you ask?
Oh, don't worry. These pretzels are safe for consumption. It's all part of Vlad's system, you see. The funky, twisty pretzels are poison, but the pretzel sticks are a snack for Vlad. The Pringles are poison. Lay stacks are for Vlad. Spinach, poison. Arugula, Vlad.
What's so bad about the cows, you ask? They're always trying to get involved in everyone's affairs. It reminds me of the famous fable from the old country, the story of the merchant and the fool, and the obstinate dandelion, and the abstinent snail, and the morally corrupt duck. In the end, they all found out that the morally corrupt duck wasn't morally corrupt after all. He was just a mean drunk. A mean drunk.
Enter Heinrich.
Look at these fools. This is what's wrong with their cause. Careless,
Vlad drops his hammer.
emotional,
Frankie hits his computer.
simple.
Joven stares down the barrel of a gun.
Jim, my friend, come. Sit. You look tired. Here, heavy pretzel. I just had one, and I can tell you that they are to die for.
Look at you. No wonder you'd never do any field work. You're gluttonous and flabby. You look like all you eat is Bauernfrühstück.
What's a bargain fruit stick?
You've never heard of Bauernfrühstück? Potatoes, egg, onion, pickled gherkins. Nothing? Scheiße!
China. That sounded German to me.
Jim, I didn't take you for a man with an affinity for German cuisine.
Yeah, I also never seen you that way. I thought you were all American all the time.
I said hamburgers and hot dogs.
Now that I think about it, yeah, that's definitely what he said.
There's nothing more American than hamburgers and hot dogs.
Nothing more American than hamburgers and hot dogs. They're called hamburgers. Where do you think that name came from? How about, I don't know, a little place called Hamburg? And do you think Frankfurters are from some dude named Frank? 9. That's right. Go America. We're so good at making our own food and not stealing from other cultures.
You know what else is very American? Democracy.
Greek. Very American.
Cowboys.
Spanish. So American.
Apple pie.
English. Shut up!
Yes, apple pie is quite good, but not nearly as good as these sick pretzels, huh?
You're disgusting. If I ate your food, I would be dead in the next 20
seconds! Would anyone like seconds of these yummy free pretzels?
I'm surprised you haven't dropped the bowl with those greasy fingers. Whenever I hear a hammer, I make peace with God. Am I right, Frankie?
Yes, very funny. Make fun of Vlad.
Yes, such a klutz, this guy. When Vlad starts a playing, Frankie starts a praying.
Okay, good comedy. We all had laugh. Let's move on now, please.
Keep going.
When Vlad starts inventing, Frankie starts repenting.
We have an embassy to blow up. Shut up and eat these pretzels.
Yeah, maybe that's enough.
Do one more.
When Vlad starts tinkering with high-powered explosives, Frankie starts
sprinkling his thighs with flower roses. Just like the song from the old country. Cover your thighs in flower roses, or they'll send schmurpas to eat your noses.
We have our laughs, but you know what? I actually think Vlad's doing a pretty good job with the bomb.
Oh, absolutely. He's doing a bang-up job.
No, I'm kidding. He's an idiot.
I've definitely seen smarter.
And you're an idiot.
Hey, I'm not the brightest bulb.
And you're ugly.
I'm not a real looker, but there's always a desperate force somewhere for me.
And emotional.
I guess I can, let my emotions get the best of me.
You want to know what I really think? You're nothing more than a pathetic little yes man who gets by on everyone else's work. If I was in charge, I would squash you like the tiny bug you are. Never forget that.
Heinrich breaks Frankie's toothpick, and Frankie immediately replaces it with another toothpick.
Yeah. What's that, Ellie? Yeah, I'll be right over there.
So, Joven, tell me more about this old country of yours.
Oh, it is a beautiful land filled with farms and trees and hills and all the schmurpas you could eat. Joven lived on a farm with Joven's family. We grew crops, took care of animals, and sold Mama Joven's weaving. Our home was simple but tasteful. We didn't have all the fancy new gizmos, but we did have all the schmurpas you could sit on. And of course, you could play horseshoes until the horses wore holes in your shoes. Jovan and brother Jovan and the sister Jovan and the other brother Jovan all played in our varsity horseshoe team at school. And when we won the championship, we got all the schmurpas we could carry.
I'm not sure I
But
follow.
life was not always easy in the old country, and that made my schooling difficult at times. I remember my mother complaining about the goose that taught me my 5th grade class.
You are, without question, the dumbest person I have ever met.
You sound like the goose.
I don't believe
Mr.
anything you
Murphy.
just told me, and I am shocked that you haven't managed to suffocate yourself on a plastic bag.
Oh, Jim, like the rest of us, you really crackled me up.
Scheisse!
China.
Heinrich walks over to the bowl of pretzels and starts studying it like he wants a pretzel. Enter Eleanor and Frankie. They are out of earshot from the others.
Listen, Frankie, I will be implementing a few changes around here.
That's a great idea. You gotta put your own stamp on the organization.
I finally have Frankie alone. If I can get his unflinching support, it will ensure that the legitimacy of my authority goes unquestioned. Are you ready for a masterclass in manipulation? Feel free to take notes. Things have been rather inefficient around here.
Oh, they're not just inefficient. They're too inefficient. I can see the way the wind's blowing here, and it's heading in Ellie's direction. Old Pickles isn't about to miss his chance to get on her good side. Time to really start concurring. Pay attention. See if you can't pick up a few things.
So you agree?
Are you kidding? You can't get nothing done around here. That's what I'm always saying. Ask Jovan. Don't ask him. He might be busy with
We
his...
spend too much time considering everyone's opinions.
Ellie, would you believe that I was about to say the exact same thing?
I would.
Of course you would.
Things will be changing very quickly around here.
Very quickly.
But that means I will need your unwavering support.
Hey, you can count on me.
When I say jump, you say?
Yes, boss.
Frankie jumps.
How high?
Very high.
While we will honor Goodman with a memorial service, I see no benefit dwelling on his death.
Yeah, agreed.
We have neither the time nor the resources for an investigation.
The past is over. I say leave it that way.
I expect some pushback from the rest of them.
That don't bother me none. I got your back. You see how this works? You get in with the right people and they take you straight to just below the top. I got her right where I want her.
I'm glad to have your support. Dance, puppet, dance.
Heinrich picks up the bowl and grabs one pretzel. He checks to see if anyone is watching and goes to eat it. As Eleanor and Frankie approach, Heinrich quickly puts the pretzel back. The lad turns to see Heinrich holding the bowl of pretzels.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Jim. I have taken the liberty preparing a bowl of pretzels in honor of Goodman's sacrifice. Everyone, please eat one. That's what Hugo would have wanted.
Nonsense! We must have a drink in his name.
That's right, a drink and a pretzel. I know you're all dying to try one of Vlad's pretzels.
To Goodman and his family.
Thoughts and
prayers.
What I can't figure out is who those guys were that were after me and Hugo.
And how did they know where you were?
We can't dwell on matters like that.
I was just thinking, irrespective of Ellie's point, that we should probably forget about all that stuff.
We don't have the time for conjecture.
Yeah, in my opinion, we really don't got time for all that, conjectionalizing.
Consider this discussion over.
Yeah, we should move on.
But doesn't this morning put us at risk for another attack? What if Jovan was followed?
My decisions are not up for debate.
We don't need to hear from everyone.
It was probably Joven's fault anyway. He's underprepared, careless in the field, and has a big mouth. I bet you blabbed to the wrong stranger and brought this all on yourself. You're probably responsible for Goodman's death.
I didn't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, hey, maybe he didn't tell nobody.
That would be a first.
You do have a bit of a blabbermouth there, Jovi.
If he says it's not him, then it's not him.
Thanks for the input, fat ass.
How about I drop my fat ass on your face?
Enough! Goodman is gone, and no amount of arguing or investigating is going to change that. We must work to ensure that his death was not in vain, but rather a necessary sacrifice for the success of the cause. Hugo Goodman was an honorable man. He lived an honorable life to his very last moments, where he died an honorable death. This is supposed to be his memorial service, and arguing does nothing but defecate on his legacy. He had a family. You know, at some point, I will have to write an anonymous letter that notifies his wife and children about his death. I don't see anyone else volunteering for that job. Now, can we take a moment to remember Goodman and celebrate his life without all of this absurd inquiry?
Yes, boss.
Sorry, Ellie. We'll shut up.
Good. Now that we've finished with the accusations, let us have a minute of silence to remember Goodman.
The clock changes from 12 o'clock to 12:01.
Perfect! Now, Joven, you're with Goodman until the bitter end. Is there anything you'd like to share?
I remember his last words.
Excellent, go on.
He was all choking and coughing and saying something like, "It was an inside job. We were set up by someone at HQ. I'm making an accusation right now." I could never understand that guy.
He said what? That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, one of us a mole? What a kook!
Holy moly, is that what that means? Oh boy, I'd give 100 schmerpas to take that back.
Spy? No, that is silly. Could you imagine Vlad being spy? I am literally building the bomb. Shit. This is probably an appropriate time to mention that I have no idea what I am doing when it comes to making bombs. And this thing, definitely not going to explode. I mean, army with a side salad, and sure, I could take down a small militia, but I don't kill with bombs. I kill with yums. If they don't eat the pretzels before the detonation time, I will be found out for sure. Here, have a pretzel. Eh?
This is a very serious accusation. I am personally shocked and appalled that Goodman believed that one of you could commit treason.
So what if someone is caught doing a treason?
The rules are very clear. Anyone caught undermining the efforts of the cause will be subject to the 12 tortures.
The 12 tortures, yeah, that's something I'm very familiar with.
Okay, what are the 12 tortures?
Oh, you've never heard of them? I'll tell you about them sometime. I'm well acquainted with them. Kind of a 12 tortures expert.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Oh, right now? I think I'll let Jim continue with this one. He was on quite a roll. If you have questions afterwards, then I'll jump in.
Anyone convicted of treason is subjected to the 12 torturous experiences, each one more intense than the previous. If the traitor can endure all 12 tortures, they will be considered wrongfully convicted and freed at once.
Out of curiosity, what is the first torture?
You are denied sleep for 72 hours.
72 hours. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's not so bad. What's the second torture?
You are decapitated with the dull axe. Very few people make it past the second torture.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I forgot about the 12 tortures. The last thing I need is that oafish fool lopping my head off. How the hell do I get out of this? Think. Oh, Ellie, you devil. That just might work.
How can we even be sure that Joven actually heard correctly? He is not exactly the most reliable person here.
Yeah, not by a long shot.
Yeah, not by a longboat.
No, we heard correctly. I'm sure of it. Joven heard Goodman accuse one of you of committing treason against the cause, of carrying out treachery of the highest magnitude, of discarding your values and integrity for personal gain. But I ask you, was Goodman really a good man? Would a good man hurl baseless accusations at his own organization without a speck of evidence? Would a good man abandon his wife and children? Would a good man take Joven as his second on an important mission? No. Goodman was a bad man. His life was riddled with dishonorable behavior and poor judgment. How can we trust the final ravings of a lunatic who fought only for his own benefit.
I know I never fully trusted him.
I will not lead you the way Goodman led you. I will not fail you the way Goodman failed you. I will lead you to glory. I will rise with fire and fury to carry you to supremacy. For the cause!
The cause!
Justice, discipline, and teamwork is the only path to success. We are getting close to our scheduled time of departure, and I will not let anything derail this operation. We only have one shot at this. If anything goes wrong, everything the cause has worked for will be in vain, and you will all be failures. Understood?
Yes, Captain.
Perfect. Now back to work, everyone. Tonight is the night we make history. For the cause!
The
The
cause.
cause! Our perception of Goodman has changed.
We now see him as the villain.
Dismissed.
Exit Heinrich, Frankie, and Joven.
Pretzels all around. They are packed with lots of flavor. A little dose of flavor. Boss,
Oh, I'm sure one pretzel won't kill me.
you'd be surprised.
Sorry?
Nothing.
Just before exiting, Eleanor accidentally drops the pretzel on the ground.
Shit. Well, I probably shouldn't be eating these anyway.
Exit Eleanor.
Looks like it's time to take out the big buns.
Vlad takes cinnamon buns out of his bag.
Joven, would you care for a cinnamon bun?
Exit Vlad. Fade out. Frankie sits focused at his computer. Lights up. Eleanor, Heinrich, and Frankie are wearing full tactical gear with weapons attached.
With all due respect, Captain, I think you're being unreasonable.
Bullocks! My decisions are not up for debate. And you watch who you're calling unreasonable. I will turn you inside out and punch your organs.
Whoa, what's going on here?
I've decided to join Alpha Team in the field for our final operation. I need to ensure that everything goes smoothly. I've devised a plan to stop the bombing while it's happening. It's really quite brilliant, you see. Rather than me trying to call the shots from HQ, I can be in the field and sabotage the operation directly. I could easily convince Frankie to abandon the cause. Then all I'd have to do is return to HQ and kill Joven. Yes, it's a bit risky waiting until the last moment, but that's also the thrill of it. Being a hero requires a little drama now and again. Rest assured, the cause will be brought to justice.
You're going to the field now? So it's just me and Joven back at HQ.
Precisely. Joven can call the shots from here, and you're still on hacking duty.
Yes, ma'am. Another brilliant decision. Holy shit, this is my opportunity! If I'm left virtually unsupervised, I can ruin the operation remotely. I'll just hack into the security mainframe and lock them in the embassy. With them out of the way, all I gotta do is take out Joven.
Are you sure this is the best solution? What if something happens to you out there?
It won't.
Yeah, it won't. Ellie's got it under control.
But what if you die? There will be no one in control of this operation to call the shots. I cut off the head to destroy the beast. If I take out Captain, their cause is mine. All I'd have to do after is kill Joven to ensure no one can salvage the operation. It's perfect. You are too brilliant, Heinrich. You really are. Never mind. I apologize for my insubordinate behavior. You are the best operative we have. You are a fast shot and a quick thinker. And you'll leave your right side exposed.
Enter Joven and Vlad. Vlad is carrying the bomb in a baby carrier and has a backpack. Everyone gathers around the table.
Settled then. Jim and I will escort Vlad to the drop-off location. Frankie will disable any security measures they have in use.
Consider it done.
Vlad will plant the bomb and we'll rendezvous back here when everything is complete. Joven, you're in charge of making this whole thing run smoothly.
Smooth as a schmurpa.
If, for any reason, we need to stop the bomb, we can disable it remotely using that big red button.
That big red button?
Yes, that big red button. Joven, keep in touch with everyone and ensure that we are without errors.
I'll make sure everything goes my way. Just like the morally corrupt duck.
Gentlemen, this is the moment we have trained for. Every ounce of time and energy we have put into the cause will all be worth it in a few short hours. Everyone has their orders?
Yes,
Yes,
Captain.
Captain. I will make you proud.
Yeah, you can expect 0 problems on my end.
Plant the bomb, bomb goes boom.
I have your back.
Perfect. And remember, failure is not an option. It's a necessity. For the cause!
The
The
cause!
cause!
Chanting lengthy slogans strengthens our resolve.
Despite our individuality, we're working as a team.
Furthermore, our task is clear. We will now destroy the embassy.
In sum, we speak together and all support the cause.
Just thought I'd inform you that things are about to get interesting. I hope your seats are still comfortable and the temperature is just right. If you're concerned about the possibility of your impending demise, don't worry. It will all be over in 10 minutes. If you hear anything peculiar coming from the security tunnels, fret not. It is just me playing the hero yet again. Anyway, proceed with your celebration while I save your sorry souls. Commence Operation Big Finale! Move out!
The stage goes dark. Intense spy music begins to play as the characters scramble to their positions. A spotlight comes up and Joven is illuminated. Joven is wearing a big headset.
HQ to Alpha. HQ to Alpha. Hello.
Downstage plane is now lit. Eleanor, Heinrich, and Vlad sneak across.
Alpha to HQ, we hear you loud and clear. We are approaching the embassy tunnel. Security numbers appear to be higher than expected.
You could always turn back. There's no shame in giving up.
Damn it, Joven, nobody is going anywhere. We will complete our mission.
Or die trying.
We've reached the first automated security checkpoint. We can't proceed without this thing being disabled. Frankie, you're on.
I hear you loud and clear. This should be a piece of cake. First, I just gotta get him in. Oh, Clippy again? Okay. The firewall. Yeah, I need to disable the firewall. Yes. Okay. And disable the laser wall? Yes. All right, I'm in. You should be clear to proceed.
Alpha team sneaks onto stage.
Great work, Frankie.
We are approaching the ideal detonation zone.
Lad, get that thing armed and ready. Agent Smith and I will keep watch.
Vlad removes the bomb from the baby carrier and begins to fiddle with it. Eleanor and Heinrich look around. Eleanor and Heinrich assume positions facing away from each other.
My apologies, Captain.
Nice knowing you, Smith.
Two security guards enter with their weapons drawn on either side of the stage. Freeze!
Bang!
Bang.
Eleanor and Heinrich both turn and fire their guns, intending to hit each other. Instead, they shoot the security guards, and the guards fall back off stage. Eleanor and Heinrich stay facing each other with their guns drawn.
You're welcome, Agent Smith.
As are you, Captain.
Right, very well. You can lower your weapon now.
Of course. You too.
Oh, I will. Whenever you decide to.
It's basically already lowering.
Mine too, going down like an elevator.
Yes, bottom floor, please.
Maybe there's some more guards or something coming. From behind you.
Guards, yes. And they could come from behind you as well.
Better safe than sorry.
I would hate to be sorry.
We are almost ready to go.
The downstage light fades to dark as Frankie's spotlight fades up again.
Now all I gotta do is enable the security system again, and those idiots will be trapped for good. Okay, Clippy, let's do this. Oh, what? Clippy, what are you talking about here? Okay, Pickles, you can do this. Let's see. Disable the disability. The main security system in its state of ability. Righteous cause. Righteousness of its cause, of course. Who is Nietzsche? Okay. Yeah. I did it? I mean, of course I did it. Okay, now it's bye-bye to the radio, and all that's left is taking out Joven.
Hey, Frankie, how's it going over there? Everything okity-dokity?
Yeah, everything is basically finished up for me. I just got one last thing to take care of.
Frankie stands and begins moving towards Joven's light. The spotlight on Frankie and Joven fade as the downstage plane is lit again. Eleanor and Heinrich still stand with their guns drawn on each other.
So we agree. We'll lower our guns in 3, 2, 1.
Are we lowering on one or after one?
After 1. 3.
3. Are you counting or?
Yes, I'm your captain, so I will count.
Right. Aye, aye, Captain.
3, 2, 1. 0.
You didn't lower yours.
You didn't lower yours either.
Okay, bomb is ready to go. I will activate and the timer will begin.
The lights suddenly turn red and a voice says, "All security systems online."
What's going on?
Alpha to HQ, do you copy? HQ, this is your captain, do you copy? Son of a bitch.
Are we trapped?
But the bomb is already going to go off soon and definitely explode.
Stay right where you are. We have you surrounded.
Captain, what now?
I've got to get back to HQ and stop that bomb. I think there's an emergency exit in the north wing. Every man for himself. Good luck getting out.
Eleanor runs off stage.
Captain!
Heinrich goes after Eleanor.
Looks like it's just Vlad and an army of guards. It's time to lox and loaf.
Vlad pulls out a salmon and a baguette and runs off stage.
Arrgh!
The downstage light fades as a full stage is once again lit to reveal the entire HQ. Frankie is chasing Joven around, trying to strangle him.
Come back here!
Cutting it out, Frankie. Stop trying to give Jovan the neck tickles.
I'm not tickling you, you idiot!
Then why am I all laughing?
I don't have time for this!
Me neither. I have to get back to work.
What work? You don't do nothing!
Jovan is always doing the things. I was just talking with Alpha Team. Where are they now anyway?
Look, don't worry about Alpha Team. I can assure you they're just fine.
There is a timer running down from 3 minutes. Heinrich enters in a rush.
What happened out there?
Jim like the rest of us.
Hey there, Jim! What do you mean?
I mean, we just lost communication and we're left to die. Meanwhile, you two wastes of space are here screwing around. I have had it with this utter incompetence.
Yeah, and I've had it with the neck tickles.
Sorry there, Jim. I guess the signal was lost.
How did the security system get back online before we made it out? I barely escaped and I doubt anything good came of the others.
Look, I can explain.
Heinrich grabs Frankie and throws him.
No, you look. There is no explanation for your actions. I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
What is the meaning of this?
Vlad!
You're alive?
Of course, Vlad is like a good Mexican food. Goes in easy and always escapes quickly.
And Captain?
No sign of her.
How terrible! I suppose that puts me in charge now. As your new leader, I move to punish Frankie and Joven for their neglect.
I second. Oh, God damn it!
I knew you would.
Heinrich pulls out his gun.
I have done nothing. The cause.
A gun? I guess it's a good idea, but I didn't do nothing.
Save it! As the new captain, it is my job to punish such offenses and to mete out discipline swiftly and severely.
Maybe we all eat instead, yeah? Clear our minds.
You again with the food. Do you ever have thoughts that don't involve eating?
I'm just saying food can be good before a big decision. Here, try pretzel.
Vlad offers a handful of pretzels to Heinrich.
Get that out of my face.
Eat!
Vlad attempts to force pretzels in Heinrich's mouth.
I warned you.
Heinrich grabs Vlad and puts the gun to his head. Detonation in T-minus 45 seconds. Eleanor enters.
What the hell are you doing here?
Captain!
I could ask you the same thing.
Hey, bomb is going to go off soon. They need to eat now, or bomb won't go off, and they'll be found out. Get your delicious pretzels here, now!
Think, Pickles, think. I don't know what to do, guys. If I don't come up with something quick, you'll all be going home in a box.
Oh, maybe doing nothing was a bad idea. No, Jovan, there's still 30 seconds for things to work out.
You abandoned us, Captain.
I was doing what was best for the cause, unlike those who are in it for themselves.
9 seconds left until detonation.
That's it. They've left me with only one choice now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When the timer reaches 0, the stage blacks out with nothing but 0.01 flashing from the projection. The lights slowly fade up to reveal everyone has their hands on the big red button. They all immediately draw their weapons.
Explain yourselves.
No, not this time. You explain yourself.
I think it's best you start.
Maybe you both should explain something.
Okay, I can explain. You see, a Schmerpa
I was
is...
just reaching for place to
I
put
saw
pretzels.
Vlad reaching and I went to stop
I
him.
saw you reaching, and then Captain, and Joven with the schmurpers.
I find it hard to believe that you were...
It's not too late to eat the pretzels.
What is it with you and the
Oh,
pretzels?
come on.
I just
I told them
All
to
the
back me up.
time, every single time there's a problem, I don't understand. You bring in every single time. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And what is it with Schmurpa? You keep talking about them. And
What are we doing? We are the cause. A family of operatives sworn to upholding truth and light. An organization that fundamentally believes in its people and the truthfulness of its light. We believe in spreading truth and light and people.
Spreading people?
It can't just be one, but all united under a name. Family. Truth. Light. Fuck it.
Eleanor shoots Heinrich. Then Frankie shoots Heinrich. Heinrich shoots Frankie. Eleanor shoots Vlad. Vlad shoots Joven. Everyone shoots Joven multiple times. Everyone turns to shoot Eleanor, but die one by one before pulling the trigger.
Well, that was a lot of excitement for one day. What did I tell you? I am the best in the business. The world will always have people who choose to act out of line, the rebellious few who wish for more power, those who take it upon themselves to shift the status quo. Lucky for you, the world also has people like me. People who are willing to do whatever it takes to slay the beast of liberation. So, keep your head on a swivel and your ear to the ground. You never know who you can trust. Your closest friends, relatives, or even the people seated next to you could all easily be corrupted. And remember, if you hear so much as an utterance of another organization quite like this, you know who to call.
Eleanor sees the bowl of pretzels and ponders eating one. She picks one up and puts it in her mouth. Blackout.
And that was The Cause by Jacob Hurd, Cuinn Joseph, and Connor Joseph. We're about to move into our Q&A, so if you have any questions for the playwrights, please post them in the comments below. And we might be able to get those answers. In just a minute, we'll meet our playwrights. Be right back. And welcome back. Let's meet our playwrights.
Hi, I'm Jacob.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, I am Cuinn.
And we still have Monique here.
Yes.
She's muted though.
Haha, I'm still muted from the show.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Minek or Mo.
Well, so that was a really great read. Thanks to all of you guys for bringing it, and thanks to our readers. I know we took them out of the screen, but they're still listening, hopefully. So we just got a few different questions for this Q&A. Audience members, if you have any questions for the playwrights, please post them in the comments below. But for right now, can you guys tell me a little bit about the inception of this piece and about how you guys work together in order to create this project?
Sure. First of all, we just want to say thank you, Hannah, so much for putting this together and for the opportunity. We just wanted to make sure we got that in there. But the idea came to me playing a card game. It was, I think, like Mafia, and then I just thought it would be a funny twist if everyone was undercover and kind of working against each other and didn't realize that. And so Connor, Cuinn, and I had wanted to, collaborate on something. They had done 2 great musicals that they had wrote and directed and starred in at Fringe in previous years, and so we wanted to work on something, and then we just kind of got riffing on that idea, and that's sort of how we got to the cause.
Awesome. Now, did you guys all write together in one room? Did you pass around scenes? How did that work for you folks?
Well, actually, we started by a 3-person collaboration. I guess 4-person collaborations. A lot of time we had Minek in on the room with us, taking notes and stuff. But we basically would sit together and just flesh out characters and storyboard a lot. And then we originally started by working to just all of us in a room generating some script and dialogue. And then when we were well on our way, we started delegating certain things individually. So Connor and I, for the most part, actually did a lot of, one would write about 3 or 4 pages and then send it to the other person. The other person would edit that and then write an extra, like an additional 3 or 4. And we'd kind of go back and forth for a bit. And then Jacob would do large sections of notes and large edits and things like that. And yeah, eventually we came up with our first draft and took it to a read.
Nice. And then you took it to Fringe, where you won the Harry Rintoul. But this script that we read is a little bit more, there's been some stuff added, stuff taken away. Can you talk about what the changes were?
Yeah, so we rewrote some parts that felt a little bit awkward to us and punched up some of our jokes. And we changed some of the audience participation parts so that it would fit better for this medium.
Yeah. Awesome. So this is a more general question, but how does a reading like this help you folks? Like you did one before the Fringe production, but also at this stage in your development, how does a play reading help you as playwrights?
Well, I think it's such a fascinating way to watch this show performed, because as much as we love the staging of the play, I think we all want this to be able to function just as well as like a radio play. So we want the script to be tight enough and entertaining enough that it can kind of stand on its own. And so we don't really do a lot of table reads, or we haven't done a lot of table reads with this show. And this kind of is the closest thing to it, except it feels more like a performance. And we had the original cast doing it. So I personally got a ton from it. I was taking notes during the whole thing, and it was great for me.
Cuinn, Jacob, Mo, anything to add?
He's a man that's good with his words.
Yeah, I would say we got a lot from it in general, just because after writing these additional dialogue things, it's one thing for the 3 of us or 4 of us to sit in a room and kind of go back and forth and reading a bunch of different characters and stuff, but being able to sit back and actually just watch the whole thing beginning to end, see how it flows, compare and contrast with our previous performance and things. It's super helpful.
Do you miss having the audience in the room?
Yeah, it's fun, and I gotta give so much credit to our cast. They were amazing, because I know that like there's certain points that are big laughs in the audience that really feel the play, and for them to just carry it with that energy the whole way through just shows you how special they are.
Yeah, definitely. There's a special relationship that gets developed between actors and an audience. And one of the things that I like about this medium is that if people post things in the comments, we can have that discussion. But how does it work for you as playwrights, talking to people after the show, or like in readings here? What is that audience engagement with you as playwrights for the work, for the development of the work, and also for that kind of support for you folks?
I think like we're always just looking to. I mean, we all three of us do other kind of artistic mediums beside plays, but in all things we do, like we do kind of strive to make kind of the highest quality, I guess, product that we can, and so getting that feedback from people, I think, is invaluable, and we take it very seriously, and we're always very interested in kind of what everybody has to say, because everybody always sees things a little bit differently, and so the more feedback that we get, the better of an idea we can have how to make it more just generally effective.
And one big
And of
part
course,
of our
funny.
process is, or one thing that we agreed upon when we started this was that nothing is sacred. In that any bit, no matter how funny or compelling we thought it was when we wrote it, it's all on the table on the cutting room floor, or could be on the cutting room floor. So audience feedback allows us to figure out that some jokes that we thought were definitely like broad humor, everyone's gonna love it, and it turns out to be a very niche thing that one of us thought was great. And we get audience feedback, and we do like a preview like we did prior to Fringe or at Fringe. Watching those performances, you kind of get an idea of, oh, this actually doesn't work, and even though I loved it and I would fight for it to stay in during the writing process, I'm willing to cut it now, because that's that's a big part of growing as a writer, is accepting what the world tells you, because your work is, as much as you want to do it for yourself, and a lot of mediums like this one that relies on an audience, it's only as good as they perceive it.
And I think it's a balance too between deciding, okay, I still love this thing so much, this idea or this joke or whatever, and we all agree that it's really strong, that it might not be that out loud laugh or whatever, but it might be something that we still really enjoy and we really like. But having the opportunity to listen and re-watch recordings of the show that when we did it at Fringe was really, really useful for this rewriting process.
Great. So we actually do have some audience questions. Our first one is from Sam Hodge. What initially inspired you to write this specific piece? Was there a particular moral or idea that brought you to create it?
So yeah, specifically the idea for the play actually did come about playing, like I was playing this card game, and I was just kind of bored and disinterested, and thought that'd be a funny twist to spike the deck with all the cover cards, I think Connor and Cuinn could both kind of give their take on this as well, but we really didn't know the way, like what exactly the sort of the overall moral, or I guess theme of the play was. We had initially kind of completely different character types and different each character representing different things, and a few months before Fringe we kind of had a read and did a significant rewrite where we had kind of stumbled into really, I think, what is at the heart of the theme of the piece. And so I don't know if Connor and Cuinn want to speak a bit more to that.
Sure, yeah. I think one of the big things is just like the value of communicating effectively, and the way that pride gets in the way. I mean, the ridiculous thing about this entire thing that makes it so farcical is that all of these characters want the exact same thing, and it's to take down the cause, although we never find out what the cause actually is or why they hate it. They say these kind of empty, vague statements about why they dislike it. But they all want the same thing. And if they could just put their egos aside and communicate that in some way, they would not all end up dead.
At the heart of most conflict, I think we agree, whether on like a global scale or in microcosmic situations, it's a lack of communication or miscommunication, or not being able to convey your words or opinions effectively. So I think that's for us, I think that's the big part of what this whole thing's about.
Awesome. We have another question also from Sam Hodge. How did you decide on the various archetypes for all the characters? Any inspirations you can point to, or do they more so embody a concept in themselves?
I'd say it's half and half, right? Um, there are some specific people, like, I mean, I guess I can say this. For us, we saw Eleanor as like the puppet master, I guess a Dick Cheney type character, just somebody who has all this control and power, but kind of does it in a very like kind of a undercover, stealthy way, where she's the puppet master. But yeah, I mean, basically, we took all these kind of, each character did represent some sort of fatal flaw, and we tried to make sure they didn't step on each other, but that also informed how each character interacted with each other. So, for example, Vlad and Heinrich didn't get along very well because what they represent and what they value are at exact opposites of each other.
And the actual conception of a lot of the characters were us riffing on different like voices we could do and things like that. Like I've been doing Joven as a character, and like Mo's done improv with me. I've used that character before, but it's just a character. He just talks like this. He's vaguely Central European, but kind of has a Scandinavian vibe. Joven Musk, and the name is literally just based on an aftershave that our dad wears, called, I believe, Jovan's Musk. So that's that's where that character came from, and a lot of the things like we could do Russian or the kind of New Yorkie accents, those kinds of things that we thought were very fun. And then we'd riff on those characters for quite a while until we got to the heart of what they represented, and then that was a major part of our rewriting process. This past first draft was all about, is every character consistent in what they believe in, and is every interaction, every sentence, line they say with one another consistent with that as well.
Excellent. We have one last question from Sam Hodge.
Wow, he's
prolific.
How did you find the balance between your humor and the message? Did you find it a struggle not to veer too far into being too goofy or too serious?
I think we were way too serious at first. Like for the first couple months that we were kind of writing and rewriting and rehearsing, and we kept calling it a farce and then not treating it like a farce. But I think the message comes through strongly if the humor is effective. And so when we kind of had our actors, I remember this rehearsal, we took a huge leap forward, was when we had them basically kind of play kind of caricatures of what their characters were. And then it ended up being the thing that really captured what we wanted them to be. So I remember that moment, that was a huge turning point for the entire production.
So were the actors heavily involved in the creation of the characters, or did they help you throughout that process with all of their comedic and talented goodness?
No, it was all us. No, I'm just kidding. No, they were amazing. I mean, they were amazing. You guys can speak to this, but they were exceptional.
I mean, I think Minek was also, like, you were heavily involved. She stage managed the show in its original production and did all the production stuff. So like all the animations and stuff from the original were also her. You can maybe speak to how our actors contributed as well.
Specifically to the character, or to the development of the characters. I think that a lot of finding what the characters were truly about came from like our improv exercises, where they just acted on stage for 15 minutes in character, and we gave them crazy scenarios, and they all just tried their best to have the through line of their character expressed in every action and everything that they said. I think that was probably my favorite part about a lot of the rehearsal processes, was just getting to see the characters not necessarily confined to the script. Not that they're confined, but that's what I think.
And admittedly, honestly, some of the best jokes that ended up in that show were things where they just kind of riffed something, and we had to stop. We were laughing so hard, and those ended up being written into the show. My favorite joke of the entire show was written by Ian, who played Frankie. So it's pretty amazing.
And what was that joke?
You took credit for his joke, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
They're
The joke,
ones
the,
that
jo-
sit
the,
aside.
the joke was a great joke. It was the part where he's doing his monologue, and he goes, Eleanor made the planning, but I did photocopying, and Heinrich drove, but I chose the music, and then Vlad clogged the toilet, and Frankie topped it off. So Frankie topped it off was all Ian. So
Right. We have two questions that are kind of similar. So I'm going to pick the one who doesn't have the same last name as two of you. This comes from Brianna Green, but also Kyle Joseph had a similar question. This may be, she said this may be the same as the last question, but what character is your favorite overall, and which was the easiest to write?
Ooh.
Or steal lines from the actors creating it?
Of course. I find that really hard to say. I think personally, I have to say Joven, just because he's such a mystery. He keeps people guessing. He just has this. I don't even know if I can call it a positive demeanor. He just doesn't really care if people, what people think about him, or if they even understand what he's talking about. So that was a lot of fun to kind of just like riff with. And by extension, I think was pretty easy to write, because we just put a lot of weird stuff out there and whittled it down to what worked.
I think a lot of it depends on who is writing it as well. So, like, I have a very easy time writing Vlad lines, and writing. I think Jacob was really good at writing Eleanor and kind of capturing her voice. And Connor has this specifically really abstract mind and eclectic vocabulary, where for Joven's stuff, when it gets really absurdist and kind of, I guess, nonsensical, he has a really good way of like putting in the specific things that are great buttons to jokes, specific words that, like, when he's talking about the tale of the merchant and the obstinate dandelion and the abstinent whatever snail, where just like words like that unrelated completely sound kind of similar, and they work with really great comedic effect.
I love writing Frankie. I thought it was great and fun to write him. I mean, maybe it's cheap because you just keep getting to go, I very much agree with that, but it made me laugh every time I wrote Frankie bits.
Anything else to add?
I think just one big thank you for giving us this opportunity. It was great to get a reading in.
It really was. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone who watched and will watch in the future.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really great to hear your script.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that about wraps up our Q&A. Thanks so much to Cuinn, Jacob, and Connor, and Mo, as well as our readers. And thank all of you for tuning in. And I believe for YouTube, the phrase is like and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube at Playdates, and on Facebook at Playdates Live Play Readings. If you like the show, you'll find a link on Facebook to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can support the work that we're doing. Finally, if you have a play that you're working on that you would like to have featured on our next Playdate, please message us on Facebook or email us at playdatelivePlayReadings@gmail.com. Tune in next week for another live play reading, either on Facebook or YouTube. Next week, we're going to be reading The View from Here, which is a play that I wrote. It's a documentary play about my personal connection to a reformatory school in my hometown. And so I will be both running the tech and playing a part and sort of producing and wrangling this whole piece. So please tune in next week at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Thanks for playing with us.